General Berger, if there is one thing I learned over 4 combat deployments in the Marine Corps Infantry, it is the value of speed and aggression. Force Design 2030 is by far the most aggressive modernization strategy to meet the national defense strategy priorities of the next decade. You're leading the way, and you're preparing us for an incredibly more dangerous era of modern warfare. Now, our adversaries are modernizing quickly too, particularly China. Now, that said, change invites critics, and you've received some criticism over this, and some legitimate questions have been raised. So I want to make sure that you address some of these legitimate questions. So here are a few. You're divesting of critical capabilities, of existing capabilities like tanks and artillery that have been critical in the past. You mentioned the 29 Palms exercises prove the Marines of today will be more lethal with updated tactics, loitering munitions. Will the Marine Rifle Platoon of 2030 be more lethal than the Marine Rifle Platoon of 2020?
It'll be lethal, more lethal long before 2030.
And why is that? What specific capabilities are you adding?
Capabilities in loitering munitions, which are organic precision fires, the capabilities like the amphibious combat vehicle, the F-35, the CH-53K. But primarily, I would focus on, aside from the hardware, the Marine. How we train them, how we recruit them, how we retain them.
Will those new capabilities, both the changes you're making to training and as well as the technical capabilities like loitering munitions, arrive soon enough? You're already divesting of tanks and artillery. How are you managing the balance between divestments and investments?
This is the value of a Marine Air Ground Task Force. We can modernize at speed because in fires, organically, we have the capability to cover where we're modernizing or where we're short. We have the capability to cover it internally. We've fielded the first element, the first MLR this year. Next year comes Nemesis. The rest of the capabilities begin later this year or early next year. We're not waiting until 2030.
Admiral Gilday, is the Navy supportive of Force Design 2030, including the stand-in force concept, and how is the Navy preparing to support this concept and implementation?
We're doing it right now. So I talked to the Navier commander yesterday. His headquarters has about 30 Marines in their Joint Force Maritime Component cell. Their deputy commander is a Marine. There are Marine elements under his command in places like Estonia, Iceland, Norway today. And so the concept of operations signed by his three-star fleet commander, the commander of US 6th Fleet, is also signed by the commander of 2MEF. If I go to Yokosuka, Japan and talk to the 7th Fleet commander, his concept of operations is also dual signed by the 3MEF commander in Japan. And so we're working side by side every day. That is where Navy Marine Corps integration gets real, is at the fleet level right now today. The stuff we're doing with unmanned experimentation is groundbreaking for both the Navy and the Marine Corps, and we will continue down that path.
Admiral, what has changed that would require 2 more years to begin procurement of the light amphibious warships? And what is the impact to Navy and Marine Corps operations in the Pacific because of that delay?
So, sir, I'm not sure I'd look at it as a delay. We need to get that right. So if we take a look at where we are with LCS, where we've been with Zumwalt, where we've been with the Ford-class aircraft carrier, we know what wrong looks like in terms of stumbling. We don't want to stumble with laws. So when we come out of the box and we buy this ship in 25, and then when we field it in 28, we want to make sure that we're highly confident that we want to double down and scale it. And so I would tell you, sir, we haven't had the best track record of procurement, as you're aware. We want to make sure that, in this case, we get it right.
Well, I can tell you that for all 3 of you, it is incredibly important to this committee that you're all on the same page, and the fact that you arrived here this morning on the same page with 31 amphibious ships is a huge step in that direction. General Berger, we don't have much time left, but another concern with the stand-in force concept, pre-positioning forces on Pacific Islands prior to hostilities, is a singular focus on the Indo-Pacific. Is this strategy of limited relevance to the defense of the Republic of Korea or Japan, or to contingencies outside PACOM?
No, sir, it's not. It is theater agnostic. It's paced against PLAN, but it's applicable anywhere on the globe.
Great. Thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.